Hello, this is Alan Wheeler on my channel where I talk about spirituality and tarot. And this is my first video in a while that is just about spirituality, and I'm not bringing in the tarot specifically this time. The topic is, what is spiritual inclusivism? And in a way, the history of my channel has documented my own experience with this, as for the past few years I've been expanding my beliefs and practices. So I'm going to ask and answer a series of quick questions about what it is and what it is not, and what it includes and what it excludes, regarding inclusivism or spiritual inclusivism. Number one, is it universalism? I would say no, although it includes parts or aspects of universalism. So a kind of hard universalism that would say, relatively speaking, everything is true. I think it's not, the inclusivism isn't necessarily so. And I think of the parable of the blind men and the elephant, and one had the tail and said, "What I have is very like a snake," and one felt the leg and said, "What I feel is very like a tree," and one felt the stomach and felt something very like a rock. So they were all wrong, but they all felt an aspect of reality. And so if they all got together and included one another, they would have a more comprehensive picture if they included one another. So they're not all necessarily right or correct from that standpoint. So the second question, is it a new brand or some new religion to be initiated into? And I would say no. It's not that, although it would include it in part and see value in identity, a value in making distinctions, having a definition, but not in itself a new brand name. And for example, I would bring in the Baha'i faith, which is a name brand religion, so to speak. And one of their selling points is that they're more universalist in seeing truth in all the prophets and all the religions. However, they have a leadership that I think is actually hereditary, if I'm recalling correctly, but they have a living tradition that's passed on, and they are a name religion. I would say that inclusivism is not that kind of thing. Question 3, is it perennialism? I would say no. Now, perennialism is the idea popularized by Aldous Huxley that all religions have a common root, or they all share a core truth or a thread of truth that runs through them all. And while inclusivism would, again, include aspects of that, It's probably not a hard perennialism as enumerated by those philosophers. Well then, is it eclecticism? Yes, in part, in that the eclectic would cherry pick or take what they like from the buffet into their own belief system or practice. But at the same time, inclusivism would not limit itself just to those cherry picked features, but would also consider all other beliefs as well as the all, and kind of in the sense of pantheism. So yes, it would pick and choose, but it would consider all others and the all as ways of looking at things. Is it diversity driven? Yes, but it would also include unity as having value and having contributions to make. Is it unity driven? Yes, but it would also look at diversity as having contributions to make. And so I think by now you see the theme. It's the coexistence, it's the tolerance, and the inclusion of all other cultures, religions, ways of thinking. Would it even include atheism? I would say, in my opinion, yes, for it would see the value in the naturalistic approach, the scientific method, the empiricism, and partaking in that consensus reality, in the documenting the material world, and the technologies that arise from that. So it would see value in that way of thinking, even if just aspects or parts of that. Would it include all religions? And as we've touched on, yes, I think so. But it would not in the sense, again, of being universal, in that one could be, say, a Christian or a Buddhist, and also be inclusive. In other words, Buddhists would more naturally, by default, be inclusive, as it's an inclusive religion, as it's designed or as it's grown. But you have Christian inclusivists who don't see all other religions as hellbound. And so inclusivists can belong to a certain identity, culture, or religion while being inclusive. And the paradox would be that exclusivism is excluded, right? So it's okay to hate the haters, and that's a paradox, if that's true. But that's not entirely true, because I think what we have with inclusivism is permeable borders. So, in a sense, there's boundaries. There can be very strong boundaries for those who so choose, but those boundaries also have openings and can be accepting of outsiders or others. It's as if there's walls, but those walls have windows and doors. So This is to me, becoming more and more ideal. And if the world is to go on, it's a coexistence and tolerance that we really, really need to foster and nurture in individuals and groups in the world today, in my opinion. So that is my quick take on spiritual inclusivism. Thank you so much for watching. If you think this would be of value to others, please share it or click like and subscribe to get the algorithm sharing this video. And as always, I hope you find connection with people in your life, with online community, and on your spiritual path, whatever that may be. Take care.